Welcome to Maury County Now. Maury County Now is a community news show covering the events, ideas, groups, and happenings in and around Maury County. First up is a video from the Boys and Girls Club of Maury County entitled From At Risk to At Promise. Great futures start here.
About 2 weeks ago, someone got shot on my street, and if I wasn't here, I probably would have been outside and been involved in it.
The crowd that I used to hang with, they used to cause drama. Whatever they done, I probably would have done too.
This one girl tried to make me go and steal something with her.
Alternative school, maybe get suspended from school.
I got a friend that's pregnant right now, and she's in my grade. She goes to school, but after school, she does her own thing.
I got in trouble for not vandalized. I ran away, got suspended a couple times, got sent to alternative school.
At home, I didn't really have anything to do or anywhere to go.
I would get talked about and stuff, and it would really hurt.
A friend named Alex, he just couldn't stay out of trouble. He was doing crack.
I was probably one of the normal people out in a gang.
When I was a baby, my dad left. Then my mom, she couldn't take care of me, so she moved me to my nana's. I was there for a couple of years, and she couldn't afford to take care of me. And that's when she just sent me to my aunt and uncle.
I grew up without a father. And that's really hard because any kid wants to know their father or mother in their life.
I had some really close loved ones that I've lost, and it hurts.
When the game was over, my mama wouldn't let me go speak to him, and I didn't know why. But it turns out that my daddy got approached by the officers from being drunk, and he couldn't stay to watch me play the rest of the game.
When I was 5 years old, my mama told me my daddy was dead. And a couple years ago, she just told me that he was in jail. And he had got out a day after my birthday, and he hasn't called me ever since.
I feel like I'm safe at the club because I feel like I'm a part of it.
It gives us opportunities to go places, and they help us with schoolwork.
But ever since I came here, it shows me that all I have to do is just ignore those people.
It's just a fun place. There's a lot of things here for you to do. They help you with your homework. You can do other fun things. They get you involved with sports. If you need a job, they can help you with that.
They're like second parents. They try to help us as best as they can with anything.
It's very fun, and we learn a lot of new stuff every day. We've talked to officers, doctors, people from colleges. We went to colleges before, and we just learn a lot of stuff, and it just feels fun. It gets us prepared for life.
When I'm here, I don't feel like I am going to be hurt in any form of fashion, or I'm going to be exposed to anything.
The club has taught me how to make smart choices and taught me the negative impacts of drugs or alcohol and that sort of thing. And it taught me how to really avoid peer pressure and to make the right choices.
The Boys and Girls Club is important because you can learn a lot from being here than just being, at home or on the street.
The club is important to me is because there's a lot of opportunities that other kids may not be able to do. And going to the Boys and Girls Club will give you opportunities and give you the chance to be something great in life. In other words, you can do something great in life if you want to, but you have to do your best to try to make your way towards getting that goal.
It's a fun and positive place to be.
I can't imagine the club not being in my life right at this point.
Not going to the club is like me just getting into more trouble out in the opening and making a better life for me.
I cannot ever in my life imagine being here.
Bien estoy aquí. Tương lai tốt đẹp bắt đầu từ đây. Buenos futuros empiezan aquí.
Great future start here.
Great future starts here.
Great future starts here!
Columbia Arts in the Park featured a special guest at Maury County Park. We caught up with world-renowned artist Mickey Harris to discuss his craft and career for our segment, Creative Corner.
Well, I've been airbrushing now going on 36 years, and I've just always had a love for art. You know, I started painting when I was in about the 3rd grade, and been at it ever since. My influences when I was a child were pretty much a lot of the early illustrators. I was a very big Norman Rockwell fan. I loved his stuff, you know, the Americana and all of that. Once I was a teenager, guys like Frank Frazetta and Boris Vallejo, a lot of the fantasy artists. When I was a teenager, that was, well, I hate to almost admit it, but you know, late 60s and mid 70s, so that type of art was pretty strong back then, and that was a lot of fun doing that stuff. Well, being called a pioneer makes me feel old, first of all, but actually, you know, freehand airbrush has been, since mid 70s really is when it was the type of work that we do. The freehand style was developed. The airbrush had been around since 1879, but it was basically used for 100 years pretty much for doing photo retouch. So for us in the mid 70s, we didn't know we were pioneering. We were just trying to make a dollar doing it with an airbrush because it was a neat tool. There was no books on it. You had to learn it ourselves. Any education on an airbrush was based on photo retouch and that. So we had to teach ourselves how to do it, and that's why I guess we became known as pioneers in that freehand style. So one of the great things about what I do is how my work affects others. It's the type of things that I choose to do and like to do the most are those things that touch people. For instance, the first responder truck I did for General Motors, which was a 10-year anniversary tribute to 9/11. And we actually debuted that at Ground Zero. And at 10 years later, and it was something to see. It was a tribute to the first responders that died that day, you know, 440 something of them. And we had all their names on the tonneau cover of the back of the truck, and it rose up, and we had a stereo system that would play Amazing Grace out of the bagpipes on it for a tribute. It echoed off those buildings at Ground Zero, and I'm telling you, to be there and to watch the crowds around, and when that music came out and the visual, you know, aspect of the artwork on it, and you saw the tears in people's eyes and the feeling that they got again, and it's pretty amazing, you know, to know that you are affecting people's emotions that way, you know, and reminding them too of, you know, those points in our history. And so it's satisfying when you can see that you've touched somebody emotionally with your artwork, but it's also at the same time a responsibility that you do it in the correct way. Well, the advice I give any artist is some of the advice that was given me many years ago by rather famous artists, and that was patience. You have to have patience to be able to do it. You can't get it instantly. If you are lucky enough to be able to make a living doing artwork, you're going to learn your whole life. You never quit learning art, you know, and my advice is be patient with it and never quit, because it's not easy. There's a term, starving artist, and there's a reason for that. It's very few artists that can make a living at it. So if you love it, stick with it. Don't give up. Well, if you're looking to acquire my work, probably the best thing is, you know, contact us on the website, and that's at mickeyharrisart.com. And you can just Google Mickey Harris and you'll find me. I'm pretty well around.
Jonathan Hickerson is back once again with his segment, Back Road Ramblin'. Let's see what he's found this time.
Welcome to Back Road Rambling. I'm your host, Jonathan Hickerson. We explore unique and eccentric features in and around Maury County. Today we're talking to Charles Hubble, also known as a Cup Man. Let's find out why.
They call me Cup Man. I got that name from my son. After we started collecting cups, So he goes up here to Columbia somewhere and have me 2 or 3 caps made, and he put Cup Man on them, and everybody knows me. When I started around the yard sales now, there comes the Cup Man. I have 16,668 cups. We've been collecting cups, I'd say approximately 5 years. And we go to yard sales and flea markets, and anywhere we can find a coffee cup, we get it. It's just something for us to do. I'm retired, and we didn't have anything else to do, and so we just started collecting coffee cups. That gave us something to do every weekend. My wife, she brought 16 cups out here to the garage one morning, and she said, "Well, you do something for these cups." Said, "Every time I open the cabinet door, they fall out." I said, "Yeah, I'll hang them up back here on nails. I'll drive me 16 nails in," so that's what got started collecting cups. And after you hung them, they looked good, and we just kept on collecting till we got 16,668, planning on getting up to 25,000. This cup collection is something that don't many people do, so we filled our garage full, which is 6,000, and we said, "Well, now where are we going with these cups from here? We're gonna keep collecting them." And I said, "Uh-oh, we got a tobacco barn out there. Let's start hanging cups like you hang tobacco." I'd say the furthest cup come from Saudi Arabia, so we got them from Saudi Arabia, England, just lots of these out-of-state cups. Well, they say that we have broke the record. My grandson called the World Book, Genesis World Book record, and last year, and they said the record at the time was 6,500. So we got 18,668. It'll surprise you how many people come by, and while we even gone, brings cups, leave them sitting out here on the side porch. If the door's unlocked, they'll set them on the inside. Or a lot of times, we'll go to the mailbox. We find cups in the mailbox where people bring us. And we have had people call and ask us, "Where do you live?" So we tell them 6659 Campbellsville Pike, right on top of the her and Giles line. And they know exactly where it's at. So then some of them will bring them when we're here. If we're not here, they will leave them. We had one lady from Alabama. She brought us 14 here about 2 weeks ago. And she called and said, "You know where those cups come from?" We have no idea. She said, "This was Marie sent those cups. You wasn't at home, so I set them on the side porch." You'd be surprised how many cups we have got, just people bring them to us like that, knowing we collect them. Well, my advice is to anyone that never collected cups, don't ever start it. If it's something you get into, you won't quit till you get what you plan on getting a barn for, which we've estimated to be 25,000. And I don't think anyone else would want to start and try to beat us, but we're not trying to beat anyone. We just collect cups. Somebody else collect more than we do, I'll go look at them. Congratulate them.
This is it for Back Road Rambling. If you would like your weird, unique story featured, contact us at maurycountynow@gmail.com or find us on the back roads. See you next time.
Legal Aid Society of Middle Tennessee provides legal services to those that are underprivileged. Let's find out more in our segment, Collaborative Effort.
Well, let me tell you what the Legal Aid Society of Middle Tennessee is all about. You know, we are a nonprofit law firm, and we help folks who cannot help themselves, and we also have programs for seniors, as an example. Out of Columbia, you know, we serve Wayne County, Lawrence County, Lewis County, Marshall County, Maury County, Hickman County, Jaynes. And one of the good things about, you know, legal aid is that, you know, we have folks who come to see us. We are the last resort. You know, they're down and out, and we are able to provide them with, you know, some benefits. We are limited in what we can do. We only do civil cases. We do not do criminal work. We do not do child support, DUIs as an example, because we constantly have folks who come to see us and say, "Can you help us?" So we have to tell them no. We have a lot of seniors that calls us. We have a special program where we do living wills, powers of attorneys for health care, powers of attorney for financial. And of course, there are other things that we also do for seniors, same as we do for anyone that's not yet 60, is that we look at consumer cases, we look at foreclosures, we look at health care, Medicare, SSI, things of that nature. Well, how we choose the process of who we help is that one of the first things that you must do is you must make application. The second thing is it's in one of the areas that we presently take. And if so, then we meet about twice a month, and then we have a roundtable discussion with the entire staff, and then we decide who we are able to assist. Many years ago, we had a person who came to legal aid looking for assistance, and it was an elderly person, had no relatives whatsoever. And myself and others decided that we would do what we could to help this person live in a clean, comfortable home, in which we did. We went out and, assisted in cleaning her place. We helped her get new used furniture that was donated, and we were able to move her to another complex where, she was quite happy. Anything that anyone out there would like to do in a way of, assisting us, financially, if you want to donate some of your time to something that we do, such as VOCA, Victim of Crime Act, we're always willing to at least talk to you. Well, there are several ways in which folks in need can find out about us. Number one is that if you come down on West 6th Street next to the new City Hall downtown parking lot, look up the alley. There's a huge sign, black, red, and white, that says Legal Aid. You cannot miss it. That's one way. Second, you can also go to our website, which is www.las.org. And not only that website that tells you about us, we have brochures in which you're welcome to download and print out, pass out if you want to. We send information out to churches. So there's a variety of ways in which folks do find out, how they can come to legal aid. And again, we do the best that we can. We can't help everybody, but we give it our best.